Okay, so we are supposed to develop this app in the last class, but you have practiced on arrays, sets, and dictionaries worksheet. This app uses arrays so that we would be able to display some courses here. Okay, so it could be courses, movies, or anything, whatever you want. Okay, so this is the app. When I execute or when I run through or walk through this app, I want you to notice the requirements for this app. Okay, so whenever I executed this, I would be able to see network security by default without clicking any button such as next or previous. I have a heading called course display app. You may have something, and I'm printing the details of that particular course, which is network security, which is course number, course title, course semester. I mean, whatever the semester that you're going to offer, and the previous button and the next button. Okay, so these are the basic components that we are supposed to have on the app. So for example, course display app is nothing but the label. Okay, and this is image view. This is label. These three are labels, and this is also label. Okay, these three also labels, and these are buttons. Okay, so when you see the first screen, is a previous button enabled? No, it's not enabled, right? So whereas next button is enabled. So that is one thing that you should have noticed it. So let me click on the next. I clicked. When I clicked on the next, what happened? I got the next course, which is 44643 iOS Spring 2022. And what happened to my previous button? Previous button is enabled because when you basically what we are doing is we are storing all these values in an array. And if you have very first element in an array, you cannot go back, right? So basically there is nothing before 0. So now you are in the first index or first or second element, which is in the first index. You could go back to the previous one, which is network security. Okay, so and I'm clicking next. As long as you haven't reached the end of the array, okay, you would be able to see the next button enabled. That means there is one more course later. So let me click that one. Next, I clicked one more time. I got what course is this? Streaming data with those details. And my next button is disabled because I have reached the end of the array there. Okay, so however, I could be able to see the previous. So if I'm at the end of the array, I could go back to the 0th position, right? So similarly, I could click previous button. I would be able to see the course, one of the courses, which is in the 01 first index and then the 0th index here. Okay, so these are the basic requirements. You need to observe when the previous button is enabling and when the next button is enabling. And whenever you run or execute the app, what's the default values that you are able to see? Basically, what values we are going to see? The values in the 0th index. Yes or no? Very first values, right? So which is in the 0th index. So what we will do is we are going to demonstrate this app today. So, okay, we know that when we want to develop an app, we need to do 3 things. One is designing the app. The next one is the connections, finally writing some logic, right? So let me know how many connections that we have to give for this app and what are they? Okay, image view. So you have to give connection, which is outlet or action. Outlet, okay. And do you want to create any connection for this one? No. For this one? Okay, what about for these? Not required. For these 3, I mean, for course number, course title, course semester, it's not required. However, the values of these required. You need to create, what's that? Outlets. You need to create outlets for these 3. And what about these? Buttons. You need to create actions. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Let's start with the design. So you kind of have seen what's there in the app, and let's start with the design. Okay, so let's go ahead and create an app. What's the app name? Course display app, maybe. Storyboard, Swift, include test cases, click next on the desktop. Course display app. So basically you just hit return and then close your first one. Okay, so for the images and all that stuff, you don't have to download. If you want, you can download, but I think we have provided here somewhere. Where is that? Okay, can you look at the week 7, 22, 24th February? So you have images, what you call that? Yeah, images, course display one.zip. Just download them because we will be using the those images. So download those images first. Okay, I have those 3 images here. You could be able to keep them there once you download. Okay, so in order to design, we have to go to the main storyboard. So what's my first thing? Label, right? Just drag and drop label. And what is this? Course display app. I just want to bold it a little bit. Done, and then hit return. Okay, so this is our course display app. UI view, what's the name? Image view, right? Not UI view. Yeah, image view. Just put some image, image view component. And then we need a few labels actually. And I'm going to print course details. Make it bold. Basically, I'm displaying the course details. And what are the different details for the course? Course title? No, course number, course title, and semester offered. Okay. So just drag and drop. Just keep some labels here. And let me write the actual names here, which is course number. I'm not spelling completely CRS number. CRS title. I think I can do because I have space. Yeah, I have space, so I'm going to spell out. And then what's the last one? Course. No, semester offered, right? You could have your own details if you want. That it doesn't matter. Okay, I have all my 6 labels here, and then I need to have 2 buttons, right? One is for the previous, the other one is for the next. Where is the text here? No, this one. You know, I'm just putting this kind of greater than, which shows that goes to the next image. If you want, you can remove those. Similarly, previous. Okay, so this is a design. Everyone just finish it off soon. If you want, you could use your colors, whatever you want, you know, it doesn't matter. And I have images, right? So where should I drag and drop those images? In the assets folder. Go ahead and drag and drop them. Where is my assets? Here. This is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it won't be able to drag and drop. Let's see whether this will work or not. See now. In that case, you could be able to copy and go here. Where is paste? Maybe Command V. Yes. So copy there and then do the Command V. You have all the 3 images, which is one for network security, one for the streaming data, one for the iOS, you know, some sort of things like that. And I have the images file names as img010203. Okay, so you could have anything, but we can use these for now. Drag and drop in the asserts folder. Okay, shall we do the connections? Okay, you need to open a window by using view controller by using option key, view controller, double click on that. So you get all these. So I have my 11th line here. So basically, let's create an image view outlet or a display outlet, whatever it is, okay? Or image display. Command or control? Control, right? Drag and drop. Control, you're creating an outlet. So in the past, what we have done is, if we print our result in a label, we call it as a display label. Similarly, you could call it as a display image or whatever you want. But make sure you be consistent. Don't use yours and mine combined. Okay, we got display image. And we need how many more outlets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for buttons and the buttons or the actions. For outlets means we need 3 more. Let's drag and drop this label. Use your control key, drag and drop, and let's call it as CRS NUM outlet. You can name it as OL or you just leave CRS NUM also, that's fine. And then CRS title, hold your control key, drag and drop, connect, hold your control key, drag and drop, CRS, what is this? No, SEM offered. Semester offered. Okay. And we need 2 more actions for previous and the next button. I want to do actions at the bottom of the view controller. Action, view controller, instead of any, select UI button. Action name is, what could be best action name? Previous button clicked. BTN CLICKED, connect. Next button, clicked. UI button, connect. Okay. I'm done with my connections. So once you are done, I will double check my connections. Okay. You know, whenever you have these multiple components, there might be a chance that you miss at least one. Okay. Or maybe there might be chance that you give extra connections. Actually, giving extra connections would have more probability of getting things wrong. So you know how to check the connections. So basically in 2 ways we can check. Just select that particular or hover on the connection, you would be able to see the name, course number, course title, and then the course semester offered, previous button, next button. Okay, so there are 2 things for actions. And another way is you could select the component, go to your attributes, not attributes, connections inspector window. Very last, you would be able to see one connection has been connected to display image to this one. Similarly, label, course num, course title, course semester offered, previous button, and the next button. Okay, only one connection for every component. Okay. So we are good with our connections and the design. I think one common mistake that everyone have done in your exam was you are not able to write the comments before you actually start the program. If you write the comments, then it would be very simple actually. So let's write the comments for this program first. Is everyone done with the connections? Please double check those connections. Okay, I'm closing my main story board and I have it here. Okay, so now we have to go back and think about our requirements. Okay, So when you actually, did we drag and drop the images? Yes, we did. Okay, that's good. Okay. And what we will do now is we will write code like a step by step, and we will execute the app. Okay. So what we have seen when we execute the app earlier, what we have seen first, basically the first image has been displayed, which was network security, right? And those course details also displayed, yes or no? And the next button is enabled, previous button is disabled. Okay, so these are the basic requirements for the first view. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the code for that, for each and every of those things. Okay, when it loads for the first time, so basically it should be in the view did load. So load the first image. That means basically 0th image at the 0th position, I mean, in the array. Okay. Okay. And also load the course details. What are those details? You know that type, no, number, title, and semester. Okay, so basically we have to do that in the view did load. So we should not be able to do that in the previous button or next button, right? So because as soon as you executed the code, you are able to see that. So that means you could go ahead and do that in the view did load method. Till today, we haven't used view did load yet. Okay, so that's one thing that you have to note. Okay, so here I wrote load the first image. I mean, we have inserted our images into the assets folder. However, there is no connection between our view controller and the image asserts folder there. So what we need to do is we have to populate an array first here. Okay, we need to populate an array so that we would be able to put all those details in that array. Okay, so let's go ahead and declare that array as a variable here. So let courses is equal to, okay, courses is an array. Usually how you write an array, you would be writing like this, right? So element 1 comma element 2 comma element 3. I mean, this is an array, right? So usually we write element 1 comma element 2 comma element 3. However, what is my first element? Which is network security course, and that course has what attributes? It has image. Are you able to follow? It has course name, course title, and course title, course number, and semester offered. Okay, so it has those 4 attributes. So that means what we need to do is my E1 could be another object like this. Are you able to follow? So this is E1 basically. This is E2, this is E3. Okay, let me do like this so that you can write here. So what is my first image name? IMG01, right? And name of that, what you call that? Course number 44555. Title is network security. And semester being offered, whatever it is, you can write something. Fall 2022. So now this is details of one element. Okay. Similarly, you could write any number of, you could put 100 images and you could write that. Okay. So, but writing 100 images is not a good thing. Let me explain you that a little later. 44,643. I would say iOS. Spring 2023. I don't know course title for streaming data 44656. I don't know whether it is right or not either. Streaming data. And then semester being offered is fall 2024. Okay, so we just populated our array. And we have 3 elements in an array. So you know the index if we have 3 elements, 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So again, come back to the requirements. So what we have seen when we executed the app, we have seen the 0th course, I mean the position in the 0th index has been displayed, and the course details of the 0th position has been displayed as well, right? And we have previous button disabled and next button enabled. Okay, so can we write here previous button disabled, right? And next button enabled. So everything is in the view did load. Okay, who will be telling me the code for this? How to display image? Pardon? Image, display image, right? So similar to our display label dot text, image display image dot image is equal to UI image. You have to pass parameter named. Okay. Yeah, so you can pass image 1, that's fine, but you have given that in the array, right? So how to access an element from an array? By index, which is nothing but courses of okay, 0, 0. Are you able to follow? Courses of 0, 0. That's it. So why 0, 0? Basically, it's a kind of like a matrix, so which is 2-dimensional array. So the first row, first column, which is a 0, 0. So that's simple. Okay. Similarly, can you load the details of the course details also? I mean, the other details. Can someone tell? I don't know what. Yeah, which is course number dot text. This is label, right? So dot text is equal to courses of 0, 0, 1. 0, 1, is that true? The course number is 0, 1. Yes. And then course title is 0, 2. That is what? Semester offered is 0, 3. Okay, go ahead and type that first. CRS title. I don't know what I gave. CRS title only. No, CRS title first. Dot text is equal to courses of 0, 2, right? And then sem offered. Dot text is equal to courses of 0, 3. Okay, so again, look what I wrote. I wrote the comment. So I'm doing the index 0th position, displaying that, and I am displaying this one as well. Okay, so now I need to do the previous button and next button, right? So this one we have done without clicking the previous button and next button, because when we execute the app, we would be able to see that. Okay, so far what we have done is, for the buttons, we have created only action items, right? So we have created only the actions, IB actions. We never created outlets for those. Okay, so you need to understand the difference between outlets and actions. Actions, by in the name itself, it's going to do some kind of action. It's a behavior. Whereas outlets would be having some kind of properties, such as, for example, you have a course number here, so which is a display label dot text. You could be able to get that property there. Similarly, these buttons would also have some properties. For example, is enabled or is hidden, something like that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we have to create outlets for these buttons as well, because it has some properties to be enabled or disabled. Okay, so however, we have to write some functionality for that, which is an action that would be later. So for that, what we need to do is, let's close this view controller and open your main, and then use your option key, and then open the view controller. So what we need to do now, we need to create outlets for both the buttons. Okay, so let's go ahead and create control key, drag and drop, which is next button outlet, or next button should be fine. We are not clicking, but just next button. If you are clicking, that is an action. Okay, next BTN, and then the previous button as well. PREV BTN connect. Just double check those connections as well by hovering and by selecting. You should see two things. One is outlet, one is action, for previous and next as well. Okay, so simple. Just do those two connections when you do, like next to your label connections. You will understand why we have created actions and outlets for buttons. Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes, so finish it off. Is everyone done? Okay, so I'm closing this main. I double check the connections, those two connections in both the ways. So now previous button is disabled. So what is my previous button name? Prev button dot is enabled. It has property called is enabled. That should be false. Whereas next button must be enabled, right? So that means that should be true. Next button dot is enabled is true. That's it. Okay. So if you are done with, I mean, are you able to understand now? So if we write action item, you may not be able to get the property such as is enabled, is hidden. Okay. In the next apps also, we will be creating some outlets for the buttons as well. So far, we haven't created because we didn't get any opportunity, but now we will be creating. The reason is when you create action, action means what? When you click something, it should behave something. But without clicking, we want to make it enable and disable. For that, you have to create outlets. Okay, simple difference. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this app and see whether it is working as expected or not. Okay, succeed, build succeed. That's good. It's taking time for me. Okay, so this is what we are expecting, right? The previous button was disabled. Next button is enabled. And then I printed all the details of my first course, which is nothing but the network security image, its course, whatever the course details that you have. Okay, let me try to click the next button. What will happen? Nothing happens. Because I didn't write any functionality, right? So which is okay. You cannot even click the previous button because it's disabled, right? Are you able to follow? I mean, this is so simple. The only thing is we are using arrays, and then we created a couple of what you call that outlets for the buttons this time, because to get the properties of those buttons. Does everyone have similar view? No crashing, nothing. Okay, so that's good. So let's stop this, and then we'll work on the next functionality, right? So what's the next functionality? Next button. Okay, so when you click next button, what should happen? You should be able to load the details of the next element in the array. Okay, let's say if you're in the second element, you have one. I mean, how many we have altogether? 3. Okay, so right now you're in the first one. So when you click next, you should be displaying that second element. If you're in the second element, it should display the third element. If you're in the third element, what should happen? It should disable the next button, right? So you have to think about the end conditions also. If you are in the beginning, you should enable the button. If you are end of the array, you should be able to disable the button, and you should enable the previous button, actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and write something in the next button. First, let's write the comments. Okay, let's write the comments. And basically what we need to do, we have to load the or update the course details, right? So you know what are the course details, which are image, course number, title, and what's that? Semaphore, right? Okay. So now we are going to display all that. We know how to write that code. I'm not worried too much. So now what we need to do. Okay, so everyone please look at here. You have clicked the next button. When you click the next button, what should happen? The next detail should be updated. So wait, let me write. Update the course details of the next course. Update the details of the next course, maybe. Okay. Okay. Update the details of the next course. Okay. And then what should happen? Next time. No. Wait. So Okay, you are on the very first screen. Okay, so you click the next button. When you click the next button, what should happen? Okay, the next course detail should be displayed. I have written the code, and then previous button should be enabled. Go ahead and write that. Enabled. And we have one more condition, right? When we reach, yeah, when you click previous button, then we have to write code in the previous button. That's good thing. But what happens when you reach the end of the array? Let's say if that is your last element, what will happen? What should happen? Next should be disabled, right? So when we reach the end of the array, next button should be disabled. Okay, so basically this is what we have to write. If you understand the requirement, then you could write the code easily. So now tell me, we have to write the code to satisfy the second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element until the end of the array, basically. Right now we have only 3 elements here until the end of the array. Now can I hard code like a 0, 1 or 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3? I mean, I could do 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3 for the second element. But if I have to do my third element, I have to do 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. Let's say if I have my third element, that would be, or fourth element, that would be 4, 0, 4, 1, something like that, right? So, I mean, I cannot be able to write that many number of times. Okay. So for that, what we need to do is I could be able to declare a variable called image number, and I would increment that number there. Okay. So on the very top, let me declare image number is equal to 0. Variable image number is 0. In the next button, the image number will be getting incremented. Okay. So before that, I'm going to increment the image number plus equals 1. Okay. Now, can you tell me which is what's my CRS number, right? CRS number dot text is equal to what? Courses of exactly the same code what you have been used. There you use 0 because of the first element. Here we have to use image. Are you able to follow? Of 1. Of 0. Image of 0. Are you able to follow what I'm doing? Instead of writing 1, 0, it could be if I click 2 times, it will, if I click next button 2 times, it should be 2, 0, right? So if I click that next button twice, it will be automatically incremented there. And then the next one is course title dot text is equal to courses of my image number, which is row. I don't know why this is not populating. Image number of 1. And then the sum offer dot text is equal to courses of, what's this one? Image number again of 2. So I hard coded my column values. Okay. But I did not hard code the row values. If you want, you could be able to do like a column variable also. Okay. There is no harm there. Okay, what's the code for the previous button should be enabled? Prev button dot is enabled is equal to true. That's it. What do you mean by when you reach the end of array? How to get the array size or array length, whatever you call? Using? No. This is not string. Basically, arrays, you could use count. Okay. Courses dot count. Okay. Once you get the courses dot count. So what is the courses dot count here basically? You have 3 elements, right? So which is 3. So I mean, we have to look for the index, which is -1. Then you'll get the end index, basically. That's true. So now we have to write the condition if courses dot count -1. So what is this? Basically, if image number is equal to courses dot count -1, that means what? You reach the end of array, right? Are you able to follow? I mean, this is simple. Okay. Now what should happen? Number, NUMBER. Okay. Okay, what should happen? I already wrote here. Disable the next button. That's it. Go ahead and write that. How to disable the next button? Next button dot is enabled is equal to false. Okay, this is so simple code and easy to understand if you write the comments first. Otherwise, you don't know what you will be doing. Okay, so once we are done this, let's go ahead and run the code and see whether it is doing like same thing or not. Oh, same thing what we expected actually. Okay, so we did not crash the first functionality basically. You know, when we execute the app, I'm able to display the basic stuff. I mean, the first details. When I click on the next button, it's good that previous button has been enabled, right? So that I can go back to the previous. No, I cannot. Did we write previous button functionality? No. Okay, that's good. So basically we got only one image. I don't know. Index values are not updated. Index values are not updated? Where? 0. You mentioned 0 for the text. Yes, number of text. Yes. 0 is for image. 0 for image. No, this is 1 here. It's incremented. For image, the index is 0. So I didn't understand. Sorry. The first number index is. Oh, I did not write code for the image. So sorry. Yeah. So let me stop this. Yeah. So what is this? Display image, right? Display image dot image is equal to UI image named. What's this? Courses of image number of 0, right? Okay, good. Thank you. Next value is 1. 1. This is 2. This is 3. We have 4. I don't know. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4 values. Okay. That's good. I mean, I totally forget to write about the image. Where is this here? Yeah, you need to have an image. That's what I was thinking. Why the previous button is working? It didn't work. Basically, the network, I see the network security image there. So that's why I thought, okay, so it didn't crash. It's good. So let me click the next. Okay, so next course details has been displayed. And since it has not been end of array, your next button is still enabled and previous button is still enabled also because it's not the beginning of the array as well. Okay, and you click next here. Now that's good. The next button is disabled because you reach the end of the array. Okay. Did we get a different image? No, image is not. Why?
When you populate the array,
Changed it?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Main number.
Okay, so image number 3. Very good. Yeah, thank you. Image number should be 3. Oh, I gave the image 2. That's why it is getting image 2. I mean, there is no surprise. That's good. Let me stop and run once again. Okay. Image is iOS image and then streaming data image. That's good. And if I click on previous, that's good. Nothing is happening because we didn't write anything in the previous button. Okay. That's it. So let me stop this and then we can finish up the previous button and then we are done with the app basically. Is everyone able to follow? You know, so I mean, I did some mistakes. That's okay. Okay, in the previous button, so can someone tell what comments I have to write? Let's write the comments first so that we can follow the comments. Load the, update the. Yeah, first you have to decrement the image number. Very good, because you're clicking the previous button. Decrement the image number. And then what? Update? Update the course details, such as image, everything, you know. And then what? Once you reach the starting of the array, you need to disable what? Previous button. Good. So now we know how to decrement image number minus equals 1. Updating this. How to update this? What is the first one? Image. I should not forget image this time. Display image. Dot image is equal to, tell me, UI image named courses of, now tell me the numbers correctly. Image number of 0, right? Correct? Course number dot text is equal to, what's this? Help me out. I don't know why this image number is not coming. Image number of 1. Let me copy this so that I'm guessing you're typing yourself. 2 CRS. What's a semaphore, right? Semaphore dot text is equal to courses of image number of 3. Okay, so we are done. I have uploaded all the course details. We decremented and then incremented and then updated the course details. And once you reach the beginning of the array, okay, What's the position of the beginning of the array? 0. So that means if image number is equal to 0, then what you have to do? Disable the previous button. So prev button dot is enabled should be false. That's all. I think we are done with the app. We need to what?
Enable the next.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. We have to, once you decrement, once you enable this.
If not, if it is less than the length of the array, then next button.
Yes, next button should be enabled somewhere. As soon as you update the, no, this is previous button, right? Okay, when you click the previous button, let me see what we wrote here. You need to disable the next button. Sorry, where? Here? Yeah, this is previous button only. Let me run and see. Let me run and see what mistake it's coming, and then I'll write it. Okay. Okay, so next button is working correctly. In the previous button. Okay, see, the next button is not, I understand what you're telling. So the next button is not enabled. So we need to write in the previous button, next button should be enabled. Yeah, that's true. Let me stop this. So I think I can write here. In the if condition, else. I mean, condition is not required because if you are writing condition, you're looking only for the first element. If you have 4 or 5, it should be happening the next also there. Okay, so let me write here. The next button should be disabled or enabled. Sorry, enabled, sorry. What's the code? Next button dot is enabled is equal to false or true? True. Enabling. Okay. Okay, let me do next perfectly. That's good. Okay, now I can go next. That's good. Previous, beginning of the array, next button is enabled. Okay. So now we are done with the app. That's good. Okay. So you can have this. And I want to modify code a little bit. If you notice, there are repetitions of several lines, right? For example, this, I confused you even with this image, all this stuff, okay? And these 4 lines actually has been repeated, 4 lines or 5 lines? Actually, these 4 lines. Yeah, these 4 lines has been repeated in 3 different places, okay? What we can do is, we can write a separate method for that, okay? We can write a separate method for that, or a function, in Swift we call functions, right? Okay, here you could write some functions. How to write function? Func update course details. That's good. Update course details, and you need to pass image number. Actually, the reason is here you're using image number. Here also you are using image number. Here you didn't use image number. However, this 0 is nothing but image number because we have declared it as image number. Okay, so basically I want to pass image number. That's it. I want to pass image number of type what? Integer. I want to type image number of integer. So, and then do this. So remember, if you don't put underscore in the beginning, what you have to do? Whenever you call the method, you have to call the parameter name, right? So instead of that, you would be able to put an underscore. And then let me delete this code, Command X, and then Command V here. That's all. And then update, call this method, update, course details, image number could be basically image number only. Because we are incrementing the image number and we are passing that. Are you able to follow? Similarly, just update this course details. Update course details of image number. And here also, remove these 4 lines. I mean, if you write, if there is any, it's a software engineering concept. If you have any kind of code repeating in several places, you call it as a separate method. Okay. So, and I think everything would work as before. But again, my comments and my method would exactly match us now, even though if I replace that code. Okay. Let me stop and execute one more time, and then I will give you some time to write. Next button, work, that's good. Previous, that's good. I think it's working without, let me see the images, whether it is changing or, yes, it's changing. Okay. So the only thing what I have done is I created this one. So if you don't put underscore, you have to call the parameter name every time. Okay. So let me know what code I will have to display for you so that I could move that one. All right. Thank you.